I've done counseling before where it was a person who had no concept of the military, and after 1 or 2 sessions, I was done with it. Who am I going to talk to about this? Is it going to be someone who has prior military experience? Is it going to be, a male? Is it going to be a female? So when I came here, I really had to force myself to give it a, 100% chance. And with Dr. Thor, I was able to do that, and I'm glad I did, because the treatment was even better than what I heard of or what I thought it would be.
Something that PrEP does is introduce you to parasympathetic modalities, like music, like art, like meditation. So I meditate every day. Again, another thing, if you had told me prior to PrEP that I would do, I would have scoffed at, because I pictured somebody with a man bun, meditating in a corner or chanting. It turns out it's more just breathing.
So one of the therapies that I really enjoyed was the art therapy. I enjoyed being able to be very detailed in what I did, and it just kind of let me relax enough where I was able to talk about what happened to me and my experiences in Afghanistan.
If you're playing a musical instrument, whether you're playing it well or poorly, or you're sketching or painting or coloring or any of those parasympathetic things, your brain can't do both. It can't get wound up and be focused on all the same stresses. It literally dumps all of that while you're trying to stay inside the lines coloring. So it may sound silly, but those things become critical in trying to heal, particularly somebody who for decades has been over on the fight or flight side.
I think realizing you have a problem and telling yourself, hey, I know I have a problem, that was a big step for me. Well, my biggest one was anger management, hypervigilance. There were a couple times she put me in positions, where it was just uncomfortable talking about my situation and what happened, but she kept on me, and she, with that it helped, because it made me realize, a lot of the issues I have weren't my fault. And then I knew at the end of the day that, I was retired from the military. I didn't want to be a statistic as far as being divorced, a couple months later. I wanted to be able to be with my family and continue being married.
My time in PrEP, my 13 or 14 weeks or so in PrEP, were life-changing and life-saving. Saved my marriage. I was at a divorce for sure, a much better place with my kids, and I'm better at work. And for me, the most important thing is I actually feel energized in terms of how do I help others.
I know I need to calm down. I know I need to do this treatment. Although I'm doing it 100% for myself, my family, my 3 daughters and my wife, they played a big part in it as well. I know I have the tools now to make myself better and do better in life.